Good evening and welcome to another round of the iRacing Thursday Night Multiclass Championship. I'm your host, Will Brunner, and we've got an exciting evening for you. We are headed out to Bathurst. We are preparing for this special event this weekend, at least the GT3 boys are, and should be an exciting race. Multiclass around here, always a bit tricky, but certainly exciting, and hopefully these guys are ready for a good race tonight. Quick update on the standings before we go out to the track. You can see here on our screen, Dan Griffin has jumped up. I believe he was third before Road America and is now leading the championship on 203, followed by Cody Wassam with 197 points. Third is Nicholas Maynard with 192, and Josh Willis fourth with 189. So nice, close 14 points at the top of the field right now. That is a tight spread for these guys. So they, none of them can afford much of a drop, because if they do, there are nearly 30 cars out there that could really lose them some points. And then, rounding out your top five is Bronson Turner. So that's your top in GT3, GT4. Chris McNichol leads the championship on 331, followed by Willie Campbell on 230. Jacob Cunningham in third with 225. So that championship is extremely close, and all of them have each had their ups and downs and their race wins. So, looking for them to really be trying now to take the upper hand, be that person that can get another win on the board and really take that championship fight to the others. So now we will head out to the track. There we go, as we're following along with Chris McNichol. Currently on his first flyer. Leader of the GT4s on track. We're not going to be able to see a whole lot right now. Bathurst is very dark. Is Jacob Cunningham. He will be the first one across the line, I believe. And here, if I can get qualifying mode on. Let's see. Jacob Cunningham with a single purple sector. William Campbell also has a single purple sector. Chris McNichol and Steven Tomazic all green, but first laps out, one would expect that. Down into the chase we go. Now, first flying laps, usually we don't expect to be particularly representative, but they are a start. And across the line, Jacob Cunningham sets a 2:15.7. Chris McNichol immediately goes faster with a 2:15.6. Steven Tomazic with a 2:16.1, and then William Campbell jumping up by 1.2 seconds with a 2:14.3. That is a very strong first lap for William Campbell. Certainly a gauntlet thrown in this battle for the championship. Look back, Aiden Antefong rounding the final corner in his BMW to set his first lap. Coming in strong with a 2:13.8. That is very impressive for Maiden. That BMW clearly working well on the mountain here. Jose Guerra also returns to our group in his Mustang again. Charging over the top through through Reed Park, now McPhillamy Park. Now over Skyline, which we will be in Sunrise this morning, so I'm sure the driver's going to absolutely love that when it comes time. But real quick, gonna take a look at the GT3s. Nicholas Maynard on pole, 202.1, followed by Dan Griffin in second with a 202.3. Nearly a second back of that is Josh Willis with a 203.2. Followed closely by Alex Hansen with a 203.2 as well. 203.4 for the Porsche of Colin Johnson. So 2 Lamborghinis and then 3 Porsches as your top 5. 6th place being the Ford of Alex Altorizo with a 203.6. Cody Wassam with a 203.65. He is currently 2nd place in the championship, by the way. Your first place is our 2nd place qualifier currently of Dan Griffin. And Nicholas Maynard is currently in 3rd in the championship. So, of that top 3, Wassam is certainly behind the other 2. And then your 4th place in the championship of Josh Willis sitting here in 3rd. As we go back to check on the GT4s, Aiden Antafong has followed up his 213. Nope, he's about to cross the line again. So far, no one has eclipsed his time. And across the line he goes. Does he improve? It appears he set the same time? Maybe? While that was happening, William Campbell on a 214.3 now. Jake Cunningham's jumped up to 3rd with a 214.6. Chris McNichol in 4th with a 214.7. And the returning Steven Tomazic with a 215.2 right now. Yet to set a time is Ben Smalling, and I don't believe he's on track. So these are possibly our 6 GT4s for tonight. It's Jose Guerra heading through the elbow currently on to Conrad, where I'm sure that Mustang will sing down that straight. Jump forward to Jacob Cunningham going through the chase. Apexes nicely, does so again. Towards the final corner we go. Hard on the brakes. Nicely rounding the final corner. Tracks out to the exit curbing. What does he have? 214.5. It is an improvement, but behind him, Chris McNichol has also improved up to 214.3. Getting down to about half a second back of Aiden now. Ooh, let's see. Aiden, improvements in the first 2 sectors, purple 3rd sector, and then 2 non-improvements in the last 2. Is he going to go faster or not? And the answer is no, he does not improve. However, he is still pole position. Time ticking down now. These are going to be the final laps for everybody out on track, as time has elapsed now. Oh, very close to the wall for Steven Tomazic. I wouldn't necessarily expect to see any improvements at this stage. Generally, what we've been seeing is your 3rd lap is it. Runs a little wide. That does not look like an improvement for Tomazic at this stage. Yeah, seeing lots of yellow sectors now for most of them. Cunningham's got 3 of 4 are green currently, so there's some possibility there for him. William Campbell also has 2 of 4 green sectors. Chris McNichol, 2 of 5. Cunningham, 3 of 5. We'll see. Maybe they'll break their own trend. And nope, we see both Cunningham and McNichol into the pits. That is going to be it for their qualifying. William Campbell is staying out. Rounding the final corner. And does improve up to second place with a 2:14.1. Very nicely done for the Mercedes driver. And last car out there, Aiden Antefong. Rounding the final corner. And across the line. 2:13.9 would be fastest for pole if he didn't already have the faster lap. And there we have it. That's qualifying for you. So yeah, as we go into the race, some reminders for you. We have limited fuel, so no required pit stop. However, everybody will have to take some amount of fuel. It is not possible to complete this race without a pit stop. Tires, totally up to you. Your call. You do what you want. You think you need them because you've worn them out? Take them. Great. If not, feel free to go. So, yeah, let us see here. Try and do. So, here we have our grid. On pole, Nicholas Maynard. Second place of Dan Griffin. Third, Josh Willis. Fourth, Alex Hansen. Fifth, Colin Johnson. Sixth, Alex Alteriso. Seventh, Cody Wassam. Eighth, Jack Shia. Ninth, Jeff Dallas. 10th, Kyle McDonald. 12th, Adam King. Or 11th, Adam King, sorry. 12th, Riley Mills. Now we go to... I thought that was gonna move that farther. Trying to use some fun new tools that we've got. 13th is Joe Harkness. 14th is Tyler Smith. 15th, Justin Harper. 16th, Trevor Williams. 17th, Corey Fortner. 18th, Morgan Stringer. 19th, Jason Vondra. 20th, Colin Smith. 21st, Jacob Magnowski. 22nd, Bronson Turner. 23rd, Kevin Bolland. 24th, Mike Pico. Then 25th, Brad Sievers. 26th, Patrick McNichol. 27th, Jake Kaminsky's. 28th, Quelly McQueen. 29th, James Martin. And then first in GT4 on pole is Aiden Antefong, followed by William Campbell, Chris McNichol, Jacob Cunningham, Steven Tomazic, and I believe Jose Guerra. And Ben Smalling. He did not qualify. I'm not 100% sure if he is here. That is your grid. So, we are
Copy that, Steven.
Ooh, whoops. Give me 1 second. I need to mute things. Not worried about it right now. Let's turn that voice chat off. Don't need it right now. Sorry about that, folks. As we are rolling. So yeah, things to look for. Definitely gonna be challenging over the top, right? It's pretty one line up there, very tricky, and very easy to get caught up with traffic. So that will be the big challenge, especially when these guys get to the GT4 cars. Building a nice 2x2, rounding the final corner. Nicholas Maynard holding them till green. And there we go. That's the green flag, and we are rolling. Pretty standard 2x2. Little bit of 3 wide in the background there. But pretty clean through turn 1 as Josh Willis up the inside of Dan Griffin for second place. Now we see who's got the power down Mountain Straight. As, ooh, back behind, there's a Mercedes off. That Porsche looking like it's got the legs. Back behind, Jack Shia taking a look at... shoot. Ooh, there's somebody around. Alex Alterizo has a big slide in the middle of the pack. Can everybody avoid? It appears everybody does get woed up and is not going to make contact. Very lucky for him. But Josh Willis has completed that pass and is now up to second place. That Porsche getting a really good jump on the start and doing a great job up Mountain Straight. Back further, we look towards the GT4s. Aiden Antifong has converted pole position into first place across the top of the mountain. William Campbell retains second, Chris McNichol in third, Jacob Cunningham in fourth, Jose Guerra fifth, Stephen Tomazic sixth, and Ben Smalling is on track. Happy to see that. Looking forward to now as we head back down the mountain. So this is the juxtaposition that is Bathurst. You have the tight twisty over the top, which is very tricky to do anything on. And if that's where you're fast, great, you can make up time, but it can be pretty tricky to pass there. And then if you've got the straight line speed, it's great for you on these big wide open straights that Bathurst has. We're looking towards completing lap 1 with Nicholas Maynard converting pole position into the lead on lap 1. Josh Willis moving up to second. Dan Griffin third, Alex Hansen fourth. That little pack has a little bit of a breakaway over Colin Johnson, not a ton. And then Cody Uwasam close with him. Jack Shia a little farther back in 7th place from these two. Jeff Dallas 8th, and then you're getting into a little bit of the hole created by the spinning Mustang of Alex Alterizo. We look back at Justin Harper, a little under threat from Adam King here. Not quite yet. Looks like we had some pretty solid going for a lot of people through that opening lap. No significant issues, it seems. Brad Sievers, big mover, up 6 places. Kelly McQueen up 7. Solid start for them. Look back now at Alex Alterizo, working his way back through the GT4s. William Campbell also getting closer to Aiden Antifong now, looking threatening, and with William Campbell appearing to have a bit of damage on the back of that Mercedes. Actually, I would say significant damage to the back of that Mercedes. Ooh, behind, Jacob Cunningham touches the wall a little bit. Don't want to do that too much. Alex Alterizo being nice and patient here over the top of the mountain. As we see now, Trevor Williams looking at the 98 McLaren of Tyler Smith heading down into the chase. That camera does not do the best job of tracking there. Let's see if one of these might be friendlier. Ooh, side by side up ahead. Kyle McDonald being overtaken, I believe, by Joe Harkness. Ooh, and got another battle up here as Justin Harper through on the 112 of Riley Mills, as is Adam King. Out front, Nicholas Maynard starting to pull a little bit of a gap on Josh Willis, and Josh Willis remaining under pressure from Dan Griffin. We have quite the train of cars through here. Lots of very, very close together. Ooh, little touch on the wall there for the Mustang. Back to the GT4. Ooh, a little bit of wiggle and possibly some damage there for Jose Guerra. William Campbell now falling off of Aiden Antefong a little bit. Aiden looking really strong in that BMW. It looks fast around here. Ooh, big hit on the curb there. Possibly a little bit of a wall touch as well. Forward you go to Adam King, looking around the back of Justin Harper. Not making a move yet. It is very, very close between these two. Adam King's getting a couple laps now to kind of size up Justin, see where maybe he's weaker, stronger. Try and find a way to exploit that gap. However, Justin is up 6 places at this stage. That is strong going so far for him. See, back to the GT4s here. Yeah, that appears to be some decently heavy damage on the nose of that Mustang for Jose Guerra. That a bit of damage on the back of that Mustang? Possibly. Yeah, that thing. Potentially some involvement there between those two. So now we see that little bit of ebb and flow between these guys as the gaps open and close as things flow. Also starting to see a little bit of light in the sky here. Brad Seaver is looking at the back of Bronson Turner, who appears to have some damage, and oh, around goes Bronson Turner. I don't think that was contact. I believe that was just a getting a bit loose, and he does return to pits. Yeah, there's not much you can do about that. Now we see the Mustang of Riley Mills alongside Justin Harper. No, that's not Justin Harper. That is Joe Harkness. My bad. I think they're running a very similar paint. Riley Mills taking a very defensive line into the chase. That Lamborghini taking more of the traditional line, looking side to side, seeing if he can figure something out. Now pops out, but doesn't go for it. And actually kind of, oh, however, Riley Mills may have gone deep there, and that's going to give the opportunity to Joe Harkness, who's now ever so slightly alongside. Does he have the brake performance? He does, and through goes, no, maybe not. He looked like he had the run, but now that Mustang with its big V8 is pulling back on the straight. And right behind them, they've got the Mercedes of Kyle McDonald for company. He's lost 3 spots on the start. He's not going to be happy about that. As through now goes Joe Harkness. He completes the pass round the outside through turn 2. That is an impressive move. Lots of battling still going on here. But that's all kind of gonna Just have to take a little bit of a pause here as we go over the top of the mountain. You know, you really got to have a lot of confidence to be able to make a move here. Some do, but the opportunity doesn't often present itself. You see here, Adam King has gotten through on Justin Harper now. Just want to take a look. Nicholas Maynard is currently clearing the chase. Aiden Antefong is currently up on the mountain. William Campbell's actually dropped back a good bit now. Last time around, Aiden Antefong did the fastest lap of the race for the GT4s with a 2:13.4. Aiden Antefong did a 14.3. Or William Campbell did a 14.3, so definitely dropped back some there. And now Chris McNichol definitely looking like he wants to threaten William Campbell's second place. It does also appear there might be some corresponding damage on the nose of that Cayman to the damage that is on the rear of that Mercedes. Wonder if those things are related. First lap shenanigans, maybe? As up we look to Alex Altorizo, who had that spin lap one, scary moments for sure, and is now slowly working his way back through the field. He's up to 21st. Next target looking like Paddy McNichol. Look up ahead, Josh Willis now still holding down a strong second place. About 5 seconds back now, so he has lost some time to the leader, but he is keeping Dan Griffin behind. And right now, you know, Josh is 4th in the championship, so a little back, but if he has to choose one of these two Lamborghinis to be farther ahead, he definitely choose Nicholas, as he is the one that is farther behind in the championship than Dan is. Alex also not completely out of it, but not super in the championship at this point, but is sitting 4th, so that is a good position for the moment. Back through the fields. Who else might be fighting? Jack Shia has bridged that gap that was there a little bit ago up towards the McLaren of Cody Wassam here. Jack, a very big fan of Chetalar, hence the paint scheme of choice at the moment. Doesn't look like he's going to have much to be able to do with this time around, but certainly getting closer. Let's see, last lap around, about a 10th faster for Jack over Cody. So, you know, he'll be looking to slowly bring that even closer and closer, and as he gets closer, the draft has more and more of an effect and does more and more benefit for him. Although over the top of the mountain here, the closer he is, it's definitely going to feel the downforce impact, so, you know, pros and cons, but I think you'd rather be close than not. Look back here. Oh, Justin Harper going for the outside move on Adam King, who appears to potentially have had an issue there. He looked off pace for sure, and that car doesn't look comfortable. It is not up to full pace. Yeah, through goes Joe Harkness now, and yep, Adam King cutting the... Oh, yeah, that is heavy damage on the rear of that car. Oh, this is going to be scary moments as the field works by him. That toe link damage. Which... Oh, I didn't need to see a Corvette with toe link damage at Bathurst this soon. That hurts. But, on we shall go. Jack not really making much impression this lap. Last time around, Nicholas Maynard sets the fastest lap for the race so far with a 2:01.9. Josh Willis had his second fastest lap probably with a 2:02.9. So lost almost a second there that lap. Nicholas has been fast a lot of these rounds, so I'm not surprised to see that continue. However, if we look now, Aiden in the lead of GT4s headed down through Forest Elbow. William Campbell and Chris McNichol are close together, also now through Forest Elbow. Jack Cunningham sitting a little back from them. They do have a GT3 for a bit of company, but Nicholas Maynard not that far back. So does he actually hit the wall, or is that just a bit of netcode? Not sure, but either way, traffic is coming, and that is when things will get spicy. Not a lot of passing opportunities across the top, but if you get stuck, you're gonna lose a lot of time. So it really pressures you to say, yeah, no, I gotta get through, I gotta find something. And that's when the mistakes happen. Trying to see, somebody looks close together. Yeah, Jason Vondra's got the Mercedes of Morgan Stringer. That's a different car. Who about that? We're gonna have to check that out. Mercedes of Morgan Stringer behind Jason Vondra. Brad Sievers is also there, as is Riley Mills. Yeah, Brad Sievers making some good moves, up 9 places. Biggest mover, though, right now appears to be Kelly McQueen with plus 10. His next target's looking to be Riley Mills. Look at our leader charging up the hill, and I believe that is the sound of a GT4 in the background. There is a set of lights up there. Yep, that is the Mustang of Ben Smalling being caught by the leader. So now we see. And as interesting as watching the leader go through will be, I think it'll be even more interesting seeing our second and third place cars, given they are as close together as they are, as Nicholas Maynard with the relatively easy overtake there. Not too much pressure for that. Now Josh Willis and Dan Griffin coming along behind. They may get lucky here, and I think they're actually going to catch him on the straight, which will make life infinitely easier for all involved. Yeah, they're pretty safe there. So Jose Guerra is down in the chase at the moment, along with Jake Cunningham. Chris McNichol and William Campbell still pretty close together at this stage. Aiden Antefong now has about a 5-second lead over William Campbell in GT4. That's an impressive run from him. We haven't seen this kind of speed from him yet. He's had competitive pace, but nothing like this. This is very impressive, and clearly that BMW is working very well for him. As now Nicholas Maynard works his way past Steven Tomazik, and you can see in that lap time, a 2:03.5 is almost 2 seconds slower than his previous lap, which was his best lap of the race with a 2:01.8. And now Josh, under pretty significant threat here from Dan Griffin, has a defensive line down Mountain Straight. Dan Griffin moves to the outside, but doesn't quite have it. Now is when they're going to catch that traffic, and we will really see what kind of effect this has, how quickly they can get through it. Now climbing the hill through this very fast section. Flash of the lights from Josh. The sky is also getting brighter. We will soon have some sunlight. Ooh, Steven Tomazic not giving an inch for that. GT3 is, ooh, out over the curb. Josh clears him, and Dan does not. Oh, that's going to be a big deal for Dan, as he is now stuck through a couple of these spots and just doesn't have the space. Alex Hansen all over the back of him as well. Oh, that is a big loss for Dan Griffin here. Well, traffic giveth and traffic taketh away. We'll see how that plays later, but that gives Josh over a 2-second gap, and he is caught up a bit to Nicholas Maynard. Say a little bit, it is still 4.5 seconds, but that is, that every little bit helps. Now Alex Hansen looking to the outside of Dan Griffin. Dan Griffin having to defend, running a little bit deep. Alex Hansen moves to the outside. Side by side into the final corner, but Alex Hansen does not have the grip around the outside to do it. Now Josh is finding Jose Guerra, who he will definitely get for turn 2. Yep, does do that, but does not get to Jacob Cunningham yet. And now is going to catch him in a much tougher part of the circuit. What's going to be interesting to see is what happens behind with Dan Griffin. Does Dan Griffin catch Jose Guerra in a funky spot? Josh making pretty quick work of the GT4 Aston here. Does also potentially appear to have damage. The class looks like the walking wounded now. Ooh! Within the mix of GT4, oh! Alex Hansen goes for the move around Dan Griffin, then finds the wall. Was that is there damage to that 911 now? Definitely both got held up through all that. Josh Willis, again, getting fairly clear, but... Ooh. We'll catch a little bit of GT4 at the end here, but Nicholas Maynard has not had a good run through traffic at all. Josh is caught up 4 seconds on this lap. He's had a very lucky first run through this. It's gonna be interesting to see farther down through the field how they all cope, as this pocket has Colin Johnson at its lead, Cody Wassam there, and Jack Shia as well, all in a very close battle. Jack Shia closing up on the brakes a little bit. These guys are going to be lucky and get through pretty quickly here. Dan Griffin's got that under threat from behind. Oh, Jack Shia must have had a little bit of a moment through the final corner. Now also clears Cunningham. Now this trio, I'm not sure if they're gonna clear next pairing of William Campbell and Chris McNichol. It does not appear so. Again, this really has the possibility to stack things up again. Dan Griffin getting stuck behind William Campbell. And likely that team does not have good memories of that Mercedes. Sticks behind, does not try the overtake. Who's behind? Colin Johnson is going for an overtake on Chris McNichol over the top. Goes round the outside. Cody Wassam thinks better of that attempt and is not going to follow suit. Now through, as is Jack Shia. But they are going to get caught now behind William Campbell. Cody Wassam looking left, looking right. Nowhere to go, though. Big wiggle from the Mercedes. .296 and 720S both getting hard on the power now, down Conrad straight. Jack Shia is super close. Gonna be He's got to be thinking about a move this time around. Looks out wide, but doesn't look like that 296 has quite the top end. Look farther back through the field now. Next on their list, there's Jeff Dallas. Just trying to see if there's another pack of cars here that are all gonna really, you know, struggle to get through, as we are already 25 minutes into the race. Depending on how you're feeling, if you've got damage, this is a good opportunity to maybe take your pit early. Get in there, get fixed, get moving. And it does look like there are some cars that are already in the pits. Yes, Alex Hansen wanting to get out of that traffic. Now, Josh Willis has dropped back a little bit since his biggest catch-up to Nicholas Maynard, but is 1.3 back, and that is certainly a better situation than he was. Dan Griffin has lost a ton of time that first time through the GT4s. You know, it can really go either way, but for Dan Griffin, it has gone very heavily against him. Back at Brad Severs, up 12 places, but has 2 Porsches of Trevor Williams and Alex Hansen, both for close company right now. Now, Alex Hansen is not going to be happy to see this because he's already pit. He doesn't need that traffic. He needs the opportunity to just go. But just because he's pitted and these other 2 haven't, doesn't mean they have any obligation to give up the position for him. They're fighting their own race. To that Porsche behind, Brad Severs pushes a little wide of Trevor Williams. Back behind, we see Jason Vondra close behind Riley Mills. As now William Campbell has a couple of GT3s for company right now. None of them wanting to go for the move into 1. Over behind, does appear that the 121 of Jeff Dallas was looking pretty racy there, looking for a way by, but not quite finding it at that stage. That 15 car is actually a lap down. Cody Wassums pulled a little bit of a gap back to Jack Shia. Josh Willis now just kind of dropping back again from Maynard. He doesn't seem to have the pace in clear air. That is okay though. Ooh. No, that looked like top speeds, except one is showing 148 in the GT3, which makes no sense whatsoever. So sad that that's not particularly useful. Dan Griffin and Colin Johnson now gotten just a little bit separated through all that. But next thing we're seeing will be pit stops. And who's gonna do what? Do you run long? Do you run short? Now that a lot of these guys have just cleared the GT4s, you're probably gonna want to run a little bit longer to try and make sure that you're well clear of them and aren't gonna have to overtake. Ooh, flash of the lights from Alex Hansen. Brad Severs not required to do anything other than not hit him at this stage. That's his prerogative. Goes defensive, but doesn't fight it too hard. Through goes Alex Hansen. Back behind, Trevor Williams and Riley Mills battling. Riley Mills going a bit deep. Or no, sorry. Trevor Williams going a bit deep, and Riley Mills cutting him back. Into the pits goes Jason Vondra. Looks at that and goes, I'm going to pit and see if I can undercut him and get around that without having to actually overtake, because that'll be faster for me. Here at the moment, your leading car to have pitted as we hit the half hour and halfway point of this race is Alex Hansen. Your overall leader at that halfway point is Nicholas Maynard, who's currently third in the championship standings, fourth in championship standings, and second in this race, Josh Willis. Dan Griffin is your championship leader in third place. That'll all just kind of tighten everything up a bit. Nothing too crazy. Isn't it between these? Oh, Alex Hansen has had an issue of some variety. That Porsche is missing its rear wing. Let's see if we can find that really fast here. Nope, I'm not going to have it, I don't think. Dang. Alright. Well, he's going to need to be careful getting that back. Might be especially scary through the chase. I don't know, for those who may have seen the actual race, that moment when the IRC car lost its rear wing into the chase and just spun right around, that had to be a little scary. However, that Porsche seemed to handle it a little better. Probably has a little bit more underfloor aero than that IRC car does. Last time around, Nicholas Maynard resets the fastest lap with a 2:01.7. Very, very quick lap there. As I believe we likely do have more pitting cars at this stage. Cody Wassum can't quite seem to shake Jack Shia. Now, Jack Shia is not really threatening fully at the moment. He's not making moves, but he is there. And any little mistake may or may not give an opportunity. Alex Hansen is continuing. He must know that he's got damage. Oh! Oh no, what was that? Oh. Brad Sievers and Alex Hansen both caught up in a moment for Morgan Stringer, who is now returned to pits. What happened there? Back a second, come on. Got it. Well, we don't have the full thing, but it looks like may have just rotated, come in a little hot and yeah, rotated on his own, and then tries to back up just a little bit, and Brad Sievers is attempting to take evasive action, and Alex Hansen goes for the overtake under yellows and makes contact. 5. So that's one of the cars that was up near the front battling, out of contention now with damage to the front and rear of the car. Even if he stays out, that car's not going to be happy about it. I believe, yes, Josh Willis has now pit. So Josh Willis, currently 7th. But the first person on track to have pitted. Now that does mean he is in traffic. He is catching Jeff Dallas here. And this strategy didn't quite work at Road America. Not sure if he caught traffic there or what the deal was, but it just didn't quite work out, lost a lot of time there. Hopefully we're not going to see the same thing here. Like to see a strong battle if possible, but we shall see. Now down Conrad Straight they head. These top speed numbers are accurate. Josh Willis does have a significant advantage over Jeff Dallas in top speed. Talking 176 to 168. That is some serious go for that Porsche if that's the case. Cody Wassam into the pits. Jack Shia still out on course, as is Colin Johnson, as is Dan Griffin and Nicholas Maynard. Now, the question is, where are the GT4s? Well, the leader is over on that side of the course, as is all three of these guys. Even in spite of the damage, both second and third place still out there, still in the fight with each other. Neither of them deciding to jump earlier to get damage repair, so I guess it's not affecting them as too much. As I say that, Chris McNichol diving for the pits, William Campbell staying on track. Chris deciding maybe it's his chance to try and get the undercut. Back up. Josh Willis has not gotten through Jeff Dallas yet. Perhaps cold tires having a bit of play here at the moment. It was now Nicholas Maynard getting caught up in a little bit of traffic here as Jason Vondra clears Jacob Cunningham in the GT4. Cunningham pit. Cunningham has pit. So, as has Jose Guerra, who's currently ahead of him. Oh, no, Jose Guerra has not. Chris McNichol has, as has Jacob Cunningham. Now, these drivers do have a fast repair. So those cars that have been damaged can get fixed once. Well, they can get fixed again, but it'll take a while. And quite frankly, if you have to and have to pit twice, you're probably already hurting pretty good. So, we have it. Yeah, that Mustang definitely still carrying that damage. Now, does William Campbell choose to pit this time, or does he want to stay out? As now we do have more pit callers in GT3. Jeff Dallas, Kyle McDonald, Joe Harkness, Justin Harper, all in the pits currently. As Nicholas Maynard now catching traffic in the form of Chris McNichol. He has time to play with, but how much? Let's see. Josh Willis, still your leading car, 2 of pit, in 4th place currently. Top 3 is Nicholas Maynard, Dan Griffin, then Jack Shia. So, as we now see Nicholas Maynard diving towards the pits, really aggressive pit entry there. Back behind, Dan Griffin's gonna keep going for another lap. 39 minutes down in this race. This is definitely a long run for him, given the fuel levels that we have. Flashing the lights at a lap down McLaren. 12th place, I believe that is... Oh, that is not Tyler Smith. is Corey Fortner. That was 18, not a 12. Nicholas Maynard still sitting in the pits. Rolls now and is already off the limiter because he was in early. There's Josh. Josh is now coming down the front straight. Oh, that is a BMW missing a rear wing. Wonder if he knows that. As Nicholas Maynard comes out and is still clear of Josh Willis. Getting in and out. Good time. Colin Johnson appears to have dropped back a little bit through pit cycle on Josh. Most people in the field now have pit. Brad Sievers still has not in 11th. He's plus 14 right now. Imagine he will be coming to the lane soon. Let's see, Dan Griffin. Ooh. Is that Chris McNichol in the wall? That has potentially big championship implications here. Back here. Oh, it looks like he just got in a little deep and skipped off that wall. That is gonna end any chance of that undercut working out for him, as William Campbell is entering the pit lane now. Aiden Antafong also already in the pits. Forward. Dan Griffin still has not cleared Corey Fortner. Doesn't seem like he's looking either, so potentially here headed towards the... Oh, that's a spun Porsche. As yep, into the pits comes Dan Griffin. Now, Nicholas, I would expect... Where's... There we go. Took a second. Already in the chase, so definitely gonna overtake. Josh Willis also already in the chase. Is not looking great for Dan in terms of retaining or trying to get to second place here. Jack Shia also back behind in the pits. So we see in the background Josh Willis coming through, flashing the lights at a BMW that he's passing. Dan still has not moved, and Josh is through. Josh up into second place. Where's Dan? Dan is now clearing the pit entry. So Josh pulling a good 8 seconds on Dan through that cycle. Jack Shia, on the other hand, has overtaken Cody Wassam through the pit cycle. Must have gotten some good clean air on those differing laps, and is now actually threatening Colin Johnson a bit. Not far back from Dan Griffin, so bit of change here and there as we go through. Now getting some starting to see some shadows from some sunrise. See, let's go on board. That's not the right one. Slow on that. And there is the sun peeking out over the clouds now. Actually, skyline's not going to be as bad because this is winter time in Australia and not February, so it's going to be offset a little bit. A little bit of cloud cover as well, meaning it is not coming through as strongly, so maybe these drivers are going to escape the worst of the blinding quote-unquote God rays. Josh second, Dan in third. Tyler Smith. Come on, load, please. Say Tyler Smith is close to Tyler Smith is blinking. Tyler Smith is under pressure from Trevor Williams. what we've seen this race so far, those McLarens do have some pretty solid straight line. Saw something for a moment, but that is a recovering Bronson Turner. So Bronson Turner, who 2 rounds ago, or before last round, was in second, had a rough go at second in the championship, had a rough go at Road America, and now is seemingly struggling here again, as behind him is the overall race leader, Nicholas Maynard. Josh with the flash of the lights at Jake Cunningham. Aiden Antefong here, still in a strong lead in GT4. Good gap back to William Campbell. Now, we see Jack Shia pulling up closer to Colin Johnson. Saying, I'm not done yet. I'm up 3 places. I'd like to make it 4. Not quite a podium at this stage, but you never know. It is the mountain. Things happen. As now Dan Griffin is catching multiple kinds of traffic here. Goes to the outside of that Aston GT3, not gonna make that stick. Getting pretty significantly held up here now by 2 Astons and 2 classes. Looks to the inside, but not happening there. Now, ooh. Aston in front kind of looked at the GT4, but didn't really, was not decisive at all. And now this is bringing Colin Johnson and Jack Shia onto the back of these two pretty quickly. Now they have another lapped GT3 car behind them. Ooh, that sounded like a little bit of contact there. Is now, oop, 3 wide. Nope, not quite. All right. For a second, it looked like it. But that is 3 wide in the background. As Jack Shia attempting to clear Colin Johnson as they also clear the lapped BMW. Somebody. Which one that is? It's got a old livery with white things, or white number board, so I can't see the number. Oh, nameless person you are then. As through goes Jack Shia on Colin Johnson up to 4th, and 3rd is not far away. Now, there is the small problem of the GT4 traffic to deal with, as well as that Aston Martin that clearly did not move lightly for the previous challenger, so no reason why you should move easily for Jack here. Especially when, again, catching another GT4. It's maybe tricky times here. Jack's gonna want to try and find a way by as quickly as possible, because this is definitely giving Colin Johnson the opportunity to come back at him. So, oh, up to the inside, through McPhillamy Park he goes. Now to the outside towards Skyline. Oh, there's a blink from William Campbell. Hopefully that was only on my end and not on theirs. As William Campbell then holds up Colin Johnson. Again, William Campbell has to exist. He can't just disappear. But that is giving a free run to Jack Shia to get away from Colin Johnson. Colin Johnson going to be very upset with that little bit of traffic not giving and not giveth and taking away. Huh, I don't know why that says replay in the top left corner. It shouldn't. I accidentally... Strange. Definitely not in a Weird. Well, we'll focus on the racing. How's that sound? As now, Cody Wassam slowly reeling in Colin Johnson here. Wanting to potentially get back into that top 5. You know, attempt to salvage some points today. Now, Jack Shia is going to catch the GT4 leader of Aiden Antafong. Going to get held up to some degree, but how much is going to be the question here. Doesn't seem too bad, but never know. Yeah, last lap around was a 2:06 for Jack, a 2:07 for Colin, and a 2:07 for Cody as well. Again, just with those traffic laps are under 10 minutes to go here at this stage. Brad Sievers out, possibly a drive-through. Dan Griffin still holding down 3rd place. Cody Wassam definitely looking to threaten here, but has a bit of work to do if he's gonna get there. Was about 0.4 faster last lap than Colin Johnson was. Is just about our closest battle on track here. A lot of people kind of running by themselves at the moment. Appreciate the Tracklicious number boards and banners there. So we have figured out that it's Jake Kaminsky's. Yeah, now I can see the 19. Such an old paint. Got the white number boards, really can't tell. Let's see. Alex Alteriso is still running. Now he's behind all of the GT4s at this stage. Go back forward, we'll look at these guys. See if there's anything Cody can do at this point. Looking at what this says for him, at least. Looks like Cody's got about a 2 mile an hour advantage on top speed. if he can get close. That McLaren apparently very slippery. We are looking at the closest thing we've got on track at this point. This has gotten pretty spread out, as you'd largely expect at a track like this. Yeah, you really... Fortune favors the brave, so to speak. Ahead here. Possibly? No? Okay. Like Dan might have lost a little bit of time, but nope. As the ebb and flow of this little battle here means Colin Johnson is actually pulling back just a little bit towards Jack Shia. Now where are the GT... Are they going to play any more part in front? Doesn't look like it. 4 minutes to go and they're half a lap behind-ish. So I think we're pretty safe to say that that's multi-class interaction for the evening is largely done and dusted, at least as far as your major competitors are concerned. Colin Johnson now dropping back a little bit. Jack was about 2/10 slower last lap. Okay. That's such an easy little bit of swing either way, and what's that? Let's see. Dan now coming down through the elbow. Not sure if this is going to be one or two more. Going to be close. Certainly going to be close. Through the chase swings our leader hard on the brakes. Rotates nicely through. Heads down into the final corner. And out onto the pit straight. 58.02, yep, you can see it. There is the flagman waving the white flag. This is it. Final lap for Nicholas Maynard. There is some GT3 traffic ahead, but hopefully for his sake he will go on that front. Cody is there, but just can't quite seem to find that little bit extra he needs. Jack is currently dealing with a back marker. Stringer and Jason Kaminsky's relatively close together on this, their final lap. Colin Johnson clearing the lap to number 15. Cody Wassum also clears him. This is it though. This is their final lap. This is one more shot. Gotta stay as close as you can through the final corner to through this corner onto Conrad to maybe getting that opportunity. Jack Shia drafting off back. Brad Severs as we look forward to Nicholas Maynard taking the victory here at Bathurst and executing a bit of a burnout there. Josh Willis comes across the line in second place. Dan Griffin now clears in third. That is a very nice burnout being performed by Nicholas Maynard. Very impressive indeed. Back to the GT4s. Aiden Antafong headed down Conrad. A fairly solid 12-second lead over William Campbell. Appear actually, I think Jacob Cunningham has already crossed the line and confirmed his third place in class. Fortunately, a lap down to these two based on where the leader was. Aiden Antafong takes the win in GT4. That is a lot of tire smoke, presumably from what appears to be still a burnout for your overall winner. Nicholas Maynard is across in second place. Comes William Campbell. That is a strong position to be in for the championship. And there we have it. Crazy race times. Calm down there a bit at the end. Looks like we had a severe amount of attrition. Only 18 cars ahead of the GT4. And potentially as few as 13 on the lead lap. Definitely a tricky one out there for everybody involved, but hey, it's Bathurst. We expected that. We expected that indeed. And back to the studio. I think we will go and see who's around for interviews at the end of this one. Let's see. Oh, I don't even have Discord open. That's Woo. Discord we go. Get myself in the stream room, and then I will start grabbing our podium finishers. And there we go. There are...
You there, Will?
5. I'm here, yeah.
Not that Will.
Oh, it's... Hang on. Discord.
Stream Will.
Yeah.
Is...
possibly on push to talk.
Quiet.
Yes, I was on push to talk. Sorry about that, guys. I know it was going through to stream, but not to you. So, congratulations to our podium finishers that we have here. Looks like we've got all the GT3s here first this week, so we're going to start with you. Congratulations all. Dan, third place for you. Nicely done. How was your race?
That was okay. I don't know. I lost a huge amount of time in traffic, so tried to fuel save and I don't know, hoping come back around, but never did. So that's all right. Didn't hit anything, didn't kill anyone. So mission accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, those are two big ones to tick off here at Bathurst, and if you do that, that's usually a good start to things. Josh, second place, nicely done. Looked like you were very strong comparatively through traffic to the Lamborghinis.
I think I just took a little more risks. Probably that's probably what did it. Yeah, I just had to capitalize. I knew Dan had more pace outright and probably a little more consistency. So I just needed to build that gap, and then I gained a good bit of time too, pitting a little early before making the second round of GT4s in traffic. So that let me come out like a good 9 or so seconds ahead, and then kind of just hold that gap. And then, yeah, good race start. I think that was what was the key there. Just keeping Dan on his toes. And I had nothing for Nicholas. Great race, Nicholas. You're quick.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, so Nicholas Maynard, our winner here for Bathurst. Congratulations. Looks pretty straightforward for you. Any troubles out there, or was that the case?
Yeah, no, it was a pretty clean race going into it with GT4s. I had made up my mind. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit back, take it easy, like not push the issue, and just make sure I finish. And stuck to that game plan. Thought I was gonna cough it up there when he caught back up and got right on my bumper again. But then we just kind of put our head back down and got back to it. And luckily the traffic kind of fell my way after that. And yeah, it was a pretty smooth race.
Was that pretty much a traffic incident? I hadn't clocked it on timing, and suddenly I realized, wait a second, that's the lead car right there.
Yeah. I just instead of pressing the issue, I just followed them either up or down the mountain wherever I called them, and just kind of bid my time until I got back on the straight, and had some confidence in the setup that Dan built me, that I could pull that gap back out when we got out of traffic. So just made sure I had patience.
Well, there you go. Clearly it worked well for you. Congratulations. On to our GT4s. And third place, we have Jacob Cunningham. Congratulations on your podium. Did I possibly notice some damage early in the race for you?
Yeah, so the GT4 class, we started pretty close to the back of the GT3s. And so whenever there was the inevitable pile up into turn 2, there was just a stack up, and the back of the field couldn't avoid the front of the field. So just a big accordion there. So I pit early to fix that. And then with the help of some traffic, was catching back up to Chris and the back of William more. And then just, unfortunately for Chris, he got hit over the mountain, and I couldn't avoid running into him and kind of took him out of the race. There's not much I could have done about that, but...
That is unfortunate. That is not something that we caught. I did unfortunately see he had a bit of an issue through Forest Elbow, but did not see that one. But that's unfortunately how it goes sometimes. William Campbell, congratulations on your second place. Very nicely done. I assume the damage was also from that whole stack up that was on the back of your car.
Yeah, I was trying to get through, and I think I just got some rear damage. Luckily, it didn't really cost any pace, and the wheel was all straight and all that, so I just kind of had to get through to my pit stop. But mostly been doing a lot of more GT3 practice this week, trying to practice for the 12 hours, so not as much time in the GT4 car, but still happy with a good result. Aiden was an absolute rocket ship this today, though. He was a monster out there.
Yeah, clearly, I mentioned a couple times, clearly the M4 was working, so congratulations, Aiden. Well done. Any issues in your race, or was it as straightforward as it looked from broadcast?
Probably just as straightforward as it looked from broadcast. Didn't have a lot of troubles during the race besides just turn 2 in the right-hander. I just got lucky. I found a gap where I was able to pull away from everyone else. And then I was just also fighting my FPS because during the night it's dropping really low.
Yeah, that can be tricky sometimes, but congratulations on a race well run. It was very good pace and very good job to maintain that pace. So congratulations for that, and well done all. This is our 7th round. We have 1 round to go next week. I should know where that is. Do I know where that is?
Nürburgring GP.
All right, so Nürburgring GP. It's been a bit since we've been there with this championship, so it'll be a bit of an adventure for everyone. But I'll look forward to it. I'll look forward to seeing how these championship battles are going to set themselves up. And yeah, we'll see everybody next week. Have a good week and be safe out there. Good night.